All right, what's going on, people? It's Will. Tonight I'm just working on some trigger press. I'm using the Mantis system to help me with that. If you're not familiar, what Mantis does, it'll analyze your trigger press, it can analyze recoil mitigation, and it can analyze your draw stroke. Now, it's basically a sensor that will go on your firearm. It can go on a pistol, it can go on a rifle, it can go on an AR-15, or a shotgun rather, or an AR-15 is a rifle still. And also a bow, at least the model that I have. So essentially just give you some really good feedback, and it'll also graph out your trigger presses, and then any deficiencies, it'll give you some feedback as far as what could be causing your shots to hit low, left, or whatever the combination might be. I'm gonna rack my slide, start the app, and then after each shot, it'll give me a score. All right, so the scoring system is 1 to 100. So we'll just point out, prep and press.
94.
94. Prep and press. Isolate that trigger finger. Lock your strong side wrist.
91.
All right. Not as good. Let's go the other way. We need some 97s and above.
95.
Getting closer.
97.
There we go.
96.
All right. We'll get 5 more good ones.
88.
Ooh, I said 5 good ones.
94. 96.
All right. See if we can get a 99.
90.
Ooh, maybe not.
99.
There we go. All right, on our 10th shot. All right, so as you can see those lines underneath the circle where the 99 is. Now, I already know what that's going to tell me. It's going to tell me I'm not locking my strong side wrist. And when I click on it, it's going to say I'm pushing forward or I'm not locking my wrist, essentially. So it's giving you that feedback. See what it says, breaking wrist down. Had my shots been going another way, I think I have one that went left. So this one, what it's saying about the trigger finger, depending on the size of your hand, the size of your gun, too little, too late, or too little or not enough. Essentially what that means is you're pushing the gun one way or the other. That could be your trigger finger, it might not be. So you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt. And then there's one slither. So a slight issue is just inconsistency with my grip pressure, which I know I have that issue as well. But the main one that I have is just not locking my joints the way I should. So just giving me some feedback on those. And I can go back to each trigger presser, just some graphs, and then I can go back. Let's pick a good one. Last one was 99. All right, so this is a graph of my trigger press. So essentially what it is the blue part is we'll go back in. The blue part is the actual aiming, and the yellow is when you're starting to press the trigger. I had to go back so it'll play the graph. And then the red is when the shot actually breaks. So blue is aiming, yellow is trigger prep, and then the red is when the shot actually breaks. If this was live fire, you would see a spike from the gun recoiling, which obviously it's not going to do in dry fire. So that's me just figuring out where I want to aim. And then as soon as it gets in the middle, you see me start prepping my trigger, and then bang, gun goes off. So essentially you can see that. Let's pick one that wasn't such a great score. What was my lowest score? I think that 88 was my lowest score. So in this one, you see me aiming in the blue. All right, it's about where I want. I start prepping my trigger, and then that last bit of the trigger press, the gun dips, and then when the gun goes off, it dips some more. So that's why I got that really bad score. Then you can notice in the upper right-hand corner, it's even analyzing if I'm canting the gun, meaning is the gun leaning left or right. So it'll do that for each shot. You see it's changing as I cycle through the shots. The angle of cant is changing as well. So it really gives you a lot of feedback that the naked eye probably can't give you, especially as an instructor if you're using something like this with a student. You're looking at the student's trigger press, you're looking at their stance, you're looking at their eyes to make sure they're actually looking through their sighting system the correct way. You might even be glancing back and forth at the target, looking at their hands. There's so many things you're trying to see that a system like this really can help you out with your students to give them some feedback. Not to mention on things you might be looking directly at the gun, but you might not notice that slight change in grip pressure right before the shot breaks. So either way, if you have any questions about Mantis, let me know.